rice we're going to use our local short grain stone-free rice, very rich in nutrients. So this is the rice we are using. See, short grain local rice, very clean, stone-free. Then for the other materials, these are what we'll be using to make the rice. This is the fresh pepper, our grinded garlic paste, as you can see. The seasoning cube we're going to use is no chicken and no beef. For the tomato paste, we're going to use Tasty Tom tomato paste. And this is a particular one I love using, Jollof Mix. If you see me using any tomato paste apart from this, know that I couldn't get this in the market. This is my signature tomato paste, any day, anytime. I use this for everything that requires tomato. Whether it's jollof rice, whether I'm making stew, whether I'm making concoction rice, whether I'm making shakara rice, this is what I use. And I recommend this for anybody and everybody. So this is the onion we're going to use. We have 3 sets of onion here. Same red onion. So this is the one I'll use to marinate our meat. Then this will be used to fry the stew, and I'll put this one when I'm done making the jollof rice. These are the spices I will add to my jollof rice. And some of you could say there is a lot of spices, but when you look closely, you notice that virtually all of them are natural spices. This rosemary, tiger brand, that's what I use. This is Gino curry. This is Benny, a very beautiful spice. Then nutmeg from tiger brand as well, and ehuru. I know some of you will shout ehuru in jollof rice. You don't know what you're missing if you don't use this in your jollof rice. So this is what we'll be using for our jollof rice today. Now time to get on to the meat part. So I'm going to marinate our beef. If you notice, there are 2 parts of beef here. I was shooting the video earlier, but I had some glitches with my phone, so I had to continue from here. I've already added my rosemary, my chopped onion, my garlic paste, and now I'm going to add the bouillon cubes. Remember I told you earlier, the bouillon cube we're using for this recipe, and which I usually use for my rice recipes, is no beef. So to this, I'm going to turn it around with a spoon to mix properly. Remember, this is Africa. In Africa, we don't measure our ingredients in the recipe. Like, we don't measure them in cups and spoons and whatever. We just eyeball them. Even water, salt, we eyeball everything. If you see any African cooking and measuring in spoons and whatever for you, that's just an influence of European culture, cultural imperialism at work. So give it a good stir like this, and then I'm going to cover this while I move on with other things that I have to do for the food preparation. So this part of the cooking process, this is our well washed, parboiled and rinsed rice. As you can see, it's been properly washed, parboiled and rinsed. Then this is a fried beef we'll be using for it. We fried it for purpose of presentation. So you can see it's properly dried. It has shrunken in size. The taste is awesome. This is the beef stock we'll be using for the cooking. Very clear beef stock. The tomato paste, remember the tomato paste we are using today is Tasty Tom Jollof Mix. And the ingredients that I've shown you originally, plus the oil from frying the beef for the food. This oil we'll use to cook the jollof rice. See, my pot is dry. To this, I'll now add the vegetable oil from frying the beef. There are particles of rosemary in it. Yes, it doesn't matter, still part of the flavor. So considering that the oil is already heated up, I won't have to waste much time in this process. Like, I don't have to start reheating the oil. What I'll do is directly introduce my garlic to the oil and allow it to fry until fragrant. That means I'll fry it until I start perceiving the garlic flavor or aroma, whichever one you choose to call it. And I'm using this small spoon. I'm used to doing that. You can use your big spoon. So now I've added my onion. The garlic was fragrant and I added my onion just as the video paused and I had to start afresh. So the onion is translucent at this stage. As you can see, it has caramelized and is now translucent. So I'm going to add my tomato puree or paste, whichever one you choose to call it. It's virtually the same thing. I'm going to add my tomato at this stage and I'll continue frying the tomato until it pebbles and separates from the oil. But before then, I have to mix it properly with the oil, the onion and other stuff in the pots. Yes, now it's completely mixed, very well mixed. So I'll continue to fry it until it pebbles. So while I'm waiting for the tomato to pebble, I'll go ahead and add my fresh pepper. Add my fresh pepper to the pot. So I've added my fresh pepper to the pot. I'm going to stir it to mix properly. And then I'll start adding my spices. First I'll add the rosemary. I'll add my nutmeg. Remember I told you that we don't measure our spices, we just eyeball it. But basically I'm adding like a third of the sachet. And that is my ehuru powder, ehuru or calabash nutmeg, or you call it African nutmeg. Last but not the least is my curry powder. I added like half of the sachets and I'll mix them together so that the flavors can incorporate while it fries and while I wait for the tomato to pebble. So at this point you notice that it has pebbled beautifully. The tomato mix has pebbled very well and separated from the oil. Even after turning it, you see it easily separates from the oil. The oil is on its own, the tomato is on its own all over. So I'm going to turn it, scrape up the parts below that won't start burning, and I'm going to start introducing the stock. So I'll let this cook for about 1 minute before I add the rice and the rest of the stock. So now I'm going to introduce the rice to the pot of stew and marry them together. This is me gently introducing the rice to the pot of stew. Going to mix everything together as much as I can. This is 6 cups of rice, and remember we used 3 sachets of Tasty-Tom jollof mix, and this is going to give us 6 servings. Yes, it's going to feed 6 people. On a norm, 5 cups of rice, 4 cups of rice can give us 6 servings as well, but we have a very large appetite. Our appetites are awesome, we're ravenous, so we need 6 cups of rice to kind of do justice to that appetite in this house. So that's why this 6 cups of rice is going to give us just 6 servings. Okay, at this point I'll pause and mix my rice properly, then introduce the stock and get back to you. So now I've mixed the rice properly, introduced the stock and the remaining spices, the Benny chicken and the bouillon cube, and topped up with enough water to cook the rice. So what's left is to cook this rice until the water dries up, and it's done. Don't forget to check for salt and other seasoning and adjust your taste. Okay, I'll show you the picture when we are done, or better still, I'll stop here and send you the picture later. Enjoy your day. Bye.